What's up, guys? It's Crypto Clutch here. Just want to do a quick little update video. I know we talked. I'll probably post two videos today. One of the previous day or whatever. But obviously today was the day for getting the new shed delivered. It's currently Monday, March 21st. So little update on the warehouse. It looks like I'm going to be keeping the warehouse until July 1st now instead of June 1st, just because of me not knowing exactly what was going on. The only way I would still stay in the warehouse is if the markets continue to pump and like go way up where I would need the extra power. But as you can see, this is the new shed. It's a little bit different than the other shed in that all of these walls are insulated. So these walls are actually, the other one had the ceiling insulation, but it didn't have it on the walls. So you can see literally every single wall has this insulation stuff on it, which keeps it pretty cool, which is nice. This thing, just like a shelf, I'm gonna have to remove that because this is gonna be the side where the panels go. Obviously that's the door over there. So we're gonna take this off, and I'm either gonna run it on this wall, but just below the window, or I'm gonna just take like one little section right there and put it right here for like a workstation. I guess I could do the same thing over on that side too, because it's always nice to have like a little workbench, and this would be a pretty good little thing to use for like working on rigs. You put a Octominer or whatever, a case on top of here, and you could build out a case, and then that's pretty convenient. Still have the storage up top here. We might cut this part, this from here over out, because we just want 3 feet of clearance for the panels, but everything else we're gonna need for rack space. All right, like I was saying, you might cut from here back, like from this board to this board off, because we only need 3 foot of clearance for the panels. And we're gonna do the same thing as the other shed, where electrical panels would go in between these studs. They'll go in between the studs, and we'll have 4 200 amp panels, probably one space in between. So like one will go here, one here, one here, and then one here. It's kind of the plan. Obviously we got to move this first. I still have to order like all the stuff from last time, and I know some of you guys are asking for like the parts list, and I'll do my best to upload. We'll put a picture somewhere, either on this video or on the next shed update. I'm sorry if you can hear me like with my nose and stuff, but it's pollen season starting here, and I have really bad allergies, and there's lots of trees around here that are blooming, so it's I've been sneezing a lot, so sorry about that. But I just want to do a quick little update on the shed, and just everything. So we still have a couple things that we're going to do out here. So as you can see, it's basically the exact same thing as the other one. If you saw my other videos, we have the hurricane clips. We have 4 of them attached into the ground, so the wind won't pick it up and throw it around. You can look at the other ones, and they have all sorts of cinder blocks to make it level. It's standard stuff. To be transparent with you guys, this shed cost me a little over $8,000 installed and delivered, including the hurricane clips. It's, some over there. The plan for internet, I already have the internet line that ran from the house down here, so we're just gonna take off just one little piece of lattice and run another Ethernet line over here, and come up on the bottom of the shed, and then we'll have internet inside of the new shed. So we're gonna do basically the same thing as over here. So each one of these is running 4 alt cables through the 2-inch pipe into the 200 amp panel. So we'll have basically, we'll have to put another stud, another post, which this one, kind of see it's kind of bent a lot and it's cracking, but it should be okay. But we're gonna have to mirror this setup right here. But the plan is, so there's my transformer down there. It's a 167 kVA transformer, which is good for 167,000 watts. My shed can only run 150,000 watts with the 80% rule, so it's plenty for that. But it also runs like 2 houses off of it, so technically that transformer is like maxed out. But the plan for the power company is, I'm sorry about the wind, but they're gonna put another one either like pretty close to it or right beside it. Then they're gonna trench. You see like the grass is a little bit different right beside it, and then come panel will be right here, meter base, all that stuff. So we're gonna have to, you know, put this stuff in again, paint this conduit. We don't really have to paint it; it just hides it and makes it look a little bit better. And then we'll have to do the big stuff again. That's 4-inch conduit, because they ran their I think 350 gauge wire aluminum up in there. It was like 2 sets. It was a pair of each. So you know, that's that. I'll have to dig a little bit down there for them to do that, and pop a 90 at the bottom so that they can just go right over. And then this shed still needs some more intake air, and I want to try and make them look, you know, the same. So the plan will be to swap out or just get more of those white intakes and just get more airflow going in there, because it's actually pretty hot in there even today, even though it's only like 70 degrees out here. 70 Fahrenheit, that is, not 70 Celsius. That would be scorching. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that we did get the new shed installed. I got my electrical permit, which that in itself was a whole ordeal. I don't remember if I made a video on it or not, but basically the rules for my county, which I know some of you guys have asked about how I got so much power in a residential area. This is zone residential, and this is my grandparents' property. They have 2.7 acres or something like that here, and I think it's a 2,400 square foot house, but only the top floor is finished, so like 1,500 square feet or whatever was finished. So the way my county works is you can only use 25% of your total like house area as a business use. And since, you know, obviously I'm technically running a business out of the sheds, that I had like 300 square feet, I believe, that I could use for business stuff. And the 12 by 20 shed is 240 square feet, or maybe it was 400 square feet. Yeah, that's what it was. It was 400 square feet is what I could use legally. So I was short about 80 square feet or 90 square feet, somewhere in there. But luckily that we found a loophole where we classified it as business storage for the other 80 or 90 square feet. And I was able to get around, because originally they were going to say like, no, I couldn't have another 12 by 20 shed because it was too big and not enough, like the zoning wasn't enough or whatever. But we found that loophole and we were able to get it approved so I could have my other 800 amps. But really and truly, I did want a third shed to be on the property, but I basically don't have enough space or storage. Well, I don't have enough square footage on the house to do another shed with power on it. I can have another one for storage, but you know, that's not really going to help me any. So I need to order my fans. I don't know if I'm going to do the same array as that one, or if I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Those fans have done me very well. I haven't had a single one die over the last, like, it's not been 3 years, but it's like 2.5 years. They've all been doing well. Quality fans, so I don't have any complaints, but I just don't know if I'm going to do like a more efficient fan, or if I'm just going to keep getting those and do another 5 or 6 of those fans along here with maybe some of those smaller ones too. I guess I'll quickly go over my planned layout of what it's going to look like, on the inside. Pretty sure I've showed you guys the shed over there where we switched it over hot aisles to get more racks in there. But basically, it's going to be like, you know, a rack here. It'll come out 8 feet or 7.5 feet, depending on which rack it is. And there'll be 6 rows of racks along here. Obviously, it'll be easier once I show you. It won't take too long to get to that point, but we'll have like a rack and then like 18 inches in between the 2 racks for the hot aisle, and then like a foot or 2 in between the 2 cold aisles. That way we have somewhere to work on the rigs and, you know, get in there and pull out rigs if they need to be worked on or whatever. So the plan is to have 6 racks of an 8 foot, 6 racks, 8 by 18 inches. Well, 8 foot by 18 inches wide. So I'm expecting to get all of my GPU cases in here easily on that, and maybe even a couple of ASICs, because I need to be able to fill up my power. So I might throw a couple S19s or C15s or something like that just to fill up the last little bit of power. I haven't thought about how I'm going to do PDUs yet. Obviously, all the power, just like on the other shed, where it's going to run along the back here. I haven't changed that idea, so I'm going to have to drill all the holes again and run all the 10-2 wiring, and put all the boxes in and all that fun stuff. But luckily, I already have all the PDUs in the warehouse. I have 33 PDUs over there already on there. I just don't have the wire, but that's not a big deal. And I'm gonna use, I don't know if I'm gonna use the same box, or I'll probably use a plastic box instead of a metal box, since it's not required to do metal, and metal is technically slightly dangerous. Well, more dangerous, because if the metal contacts the metal, then boom. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling on, but I'm just kind of showing you guys everything that went into planning this, and just, you know, my ideas for, you know, just what I'm gonna be doing, and why I decided I needed a 12 by 20 for my GPUs, just because they're so big, even with them being in the most compact form that they can be in, being in server cases. Because I did the math, and you can get about a little over double the amount of GPUs in the same space doing server cases versus open air racks. So if you guys are curious about why I'm doing server style instead of open air, it's because of space constraints. Obviously in the warehouse, you could do open air and it wouldn't be as big of a deal, but, you know, honestly, I do prefer the looks of an open air case, but it's just the motherboards are not as good and the airflow isn't as good. It's just, you have more, like, technically it's easier to fix a point of failure on the open air with risers, because a riser is cheaper than buying a whole motherboard. But like, you just get a case, you know, the cases look better, they're tighter, it has delta fans to, you know, pour airflow over them, so if the GPU fans die, it's not the end of the world, because they're still getting plenty of airflow across them. So that's another advantage. But, you know, it's, everything has its cons and pros, and you kind of have to weigh them and see what makes the most sense. To me, it made the most sense to get the cases, and now I'm getting Octominers just because I'm tired of my power supplies on the other style that I have blow up, even though they are about 3 times cheaper. So I mean, I guess I could weigh the cost of, you know, is it worth fearing turning this power supplies on because it might blow up, or is it worth me having peace of mind knowing when I plug it in, the worst case is going to start smoking out because the power supply is bad, and it's not really going to blow up like, you know, in fashion like the other ones do. So I mean, that's basically my choices. Obviously, I think the Octominers do look better and they do perform better because they have a bigger fan that's more efficient. But that's, you know, we could talk about this kind of stuff all day long. But this is basically what I'll be working on. I got a lot of work ahead of me. If you watched my other series on building out the shed, you can see all the work that I'm gonna have to do. It's probably gonna take me about a month to finish this, even though I'm not working like I was the last time. But we'll see how it goes. Scripted Clutch, signed off. Peace out.